I really, 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 really like Judge Nathan. He is amazing. Now, in this part, they're going to talk about Renz. Renz, the substance user, what substances she was using, when last did she use it, and it's because the judge is applying, because he got to watch the video where she's giving her confession, and he says, I couldn't help but notice. You looked completely different from what I'm looking at now. Other than your hair, everything else is different. It's night and day, the comparison. I think I'll put her picture here for you guys as well to see the stark difference between Renz, because changed. Okay, it's a whole different person when you're now off of substances. But so the judge, I really commend the judge for recognizing that this is a substance user. There could be some confusion involved, and she could have been on the substances when she gave her statement, or having withdrawal symptoms, or saying anything just to get out of there. So, however, we know that her stories are being corroborated by the detective for the chickens. The details might differ, but the story matches. So that is going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to play the clip for you guys because I want you guys to watch it for yourself and just see the judge who listens and doesn't judge. And even in the way he's asking her the question, it's not from a place of judgment. He's really asking from a place of, tell me about your world. I want to get an understanding of your world so that when I make my judgment whether to dismiss you with dignity, that I'm making the right decision. Because right now, you are sinking, Laurentia Lombardi. She's sinking. She is sinking with all the inconsistencies. She went from it was a mistake to I am afraid. I was afraid. Who are you afraid of? The judge asked, and she said, the woman with the gray hair. And as well, she said, I was afraid of you. And he says, you're afraid of the court? And she says, yes. So clearly, Laurentia, remember guys, she finished school grade 7. So she probably has a challenge when it comes to speaking to people in authority. So she's very, very scared. I think she's very, very scared. Especially when it comes to the children. Oh, yeah. I think she's making up things as she goes because she's also risking her children. She's only going to get immunity with the charges of the kidnapping of JOSHLIN and the planning, aiding and abetting. Any of the charges that the other 3 have, those are the only charges she's going to get immunity for. Anything else outside of this court case, she is still liable. So that's why I feel she's dancing around the topic when it comes to her kids. Here are some of the highlights. Let's go ahead and listen to it, and you'll also get to hear her say, it was my first time talking to someone, okay? I haven't spoken to someone and there were cameras and I was confused. I haven't been in front of cameras, I was confused, I was scared. So these are words that she's picking up. I was confused, I was scared, I made a mistake. In the previous video, she says I made a mistake, and then the judge asks, when I asked you if you were of sound mind, you said yes. But clearly, she could have been having withdrawal symptoms. I don't know. I'm not a user. So I don't know what could have happened. I don't know how many hours it takes. I don't know how many days it takes. I don't know what she was doing. And there was another comment that said, did they do a psychological evaluation of her before she did the confession? I think that's a fair question. I think SAPS, if they didn't do it, they dropped the ball with that. They really, really did. So, but at the same time, I think, because they kept postponing the case, saying they're still doing their investigations. Before it came to trial, they kept saying, we're still doing an investigation. Can we postpone? Can we still? So I'm thinking, because if she already told her story at the time of her arrest in her statement, then they were waiting for her to be of sober mind. That's why she ended up doing the confession in October, 7 months later from the time of arrest. This is developing story and a very, very interesting case. It's getting more and more interesting. Someone left a comment and said, right now it is not even about JOSHLIN anymore. The case has taken a diversion. And now it looks like we're now headed for a trial within a trial, maybe. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Yeah. So let's get right into it.
Can you maybe tell us why not?
Kan imaskin phone sa hukum ni. Titila defense tak titila tig kailangan ka fatat mali from mali kaisko.
Was het geweest?
My Lord, when I took the statement with the lady with the grey hair, my Lord, I was, and the witness stopped.
Was het geweest? Was het geweest?
I didn't hear you.
En u weet het al.
Dit is wat ik je statement bij die vrouw meneer Reis opgevat heb.
Yeah.
The time I gave the statement to the lady with the grey hair,
Ik die klaar laten geven. En aangegeven.
I gave her the statement,
En toen,
and then
toen was het niet die volle klaar wat even geregeerd heeft.
it was not the full statement or the entire statement that I gave her.
Ik het achterna.
Afterwards,
I'm going to divert slightly. Just bear with me, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I couldn't help to see when I looked at the video last night. You looked very different.
ek kan nie help as jy die video gister gekyk het, jy lyk baie anders dan.
Dat was geweest, my lord.
It was, my Lord.
Except for the hairstyle and the
Wow.
weight that you picked up.
Behalve
And
die
also
haar,
your facial expressions and the total complexion.
behalve die haarstyl en die se oë en dat jy gewig opgetel het en sy se voorkoms.
You were sitting to the right-hand side on the video
Jy het op die regterkant van die video gesit,
of Captain Celia, that's the woman with the grey hair,
van Kaptein Celia, die vrou mens met die grys kop
Dat is correct, my
and
lord.
the springbok top.
en met die springbok top aangehad het.
Dat is correct, my lord.
That's correct, my Lord.
And at one stage, I was thinking that I could see that you were looking to see what she was writing.
Op 'n stadium ek het gesien jy lyk soos of jy het kyk om te sien wat skryf sy.
Dat is correct, my lord.
That's correct, my Lord.
But then I realized
Toe dit dan op
when the camera angle is different, it always looks as if your gaze was going down, as if you afkyk.
en soos die kamera gewees het, die hoe die kamera gestaan, dit het gelyk soos jy is 'n persoon wat afkyk.
Now you told us the other day that prior to your arrest,
Jy het vir ons die ander dag gesê voor u se arrestasie,
you were using a lot of drugs.
jy het baie dwelms gebruik.
Dat is correct, my lord.
That's correct, my Lord.
When were you arrested?
Die tyd wat u gearresteer was,
Can you remember the date?
kan u die datum onthou?
Dat was 28 geweest wat ik bij moest geweest het.
It was the 18th when I was in Worcester, my Lord.
Remember, we went through this whole thing about when you realized, maybe the prosecutor can help us. What was the date that she was physically arrested?
She was collected on the 13th.
On the 13th.
The processing happened on the 15th,
No.
my lord, but
she
on the
was-
13th
She
collected,
was
yes.
taken in on the 13th.
That's correct.
Let's accept that for now. So it was 2 days after you were taken in from your home by the police when you made the statement to Captain Celia.
That was-
the person with the grey hair.
Dit was 2 dae nadat u geneem was van u se huis af, die tyd wat u die verklaring vir Kaptein Celia, die vrou mens met die grys kop.
Dat is correct, my lord.
That's correct, my Lord.
When was the last time that you used drugs and to what extent? How much did you use?
En wanneer was die laaste keer wat u dwelms gebruik het en hoeveel het u gebruik?
Dat was die tijd geweest wat ik naar Janda moest gaan doen. Hij was de laatste dag geweest. Wat ik nogal ook het.
And how long before the police took you from home? Was that?
Hoe lang was het voordat die polisie vir u gevat het van die huis af?
Hoe laat, hoe lang.
Hoe lang?
Ik versta het niet.
You
I don't understand.
You say the last time you used drugs was when you and Ayanda had to flee.
U het gesê dat die laaste keer wat u dwelms gebruik het, is dit wat u en Ayanda, I couldn't hear the last part, my Lord said.
So, how long after you fled were you taken in by the police?
En hoe lang het u dwelms, u het gesê genoem, nee, die laaste keer wat u dwelms gebruik het, is dit wat u en Ayanda gebruik het en Ayanda het weggegaan, nee, of jy het weggegaan. So nou die hof wil weet hoeveel u het gebruik van dit op. Dit is wat die hof wil weet.
Ik heb die vorige week jullie geroerd. Ik draag die maandag. Ik naar Janda gevliegd die maandag aan.
I used the previous week, the whole week, my Lord, and on the time when myself and Ayanda fled. Monday.
The Monday.
The Monday, yes. The Monday evening.
And you were arrested or taken in on the Wednesday because the 6th was on a Wednesday. So 6 plus 7 would give you 13. So it would have been on a Wednesday.
So dit was op 'n Woensdag gewees.
So that gives us 2 days before the arrest.
So dit is 2 dae voor u se arrestasie.
I want to also tell the witness and counsel why I ask these questions at this stage.
Ek gaan ook vir die getuie sê en die prokureur hoekom vra ek hierdie vraag op hierdie stadium.
Because I've noticed, more particularly when I looked at the video,
Want ek het opgelet, spesifiek as ek na die video gekyk het,
the changes in the witness.
die verandering by die getuie.
And now I know the timeline between drug use, arrest, being incarcerated for 7 months, up to the second statement. So that you know, these are the purpose of these questions, because ultimately I will have to make an evaluation of the quality of the evidence.
En die rede wat ek hierdie vraag vra op hierdie tyd ek die video gekyk, die tyd wat jy van die tyd wat die persoon gearresteer was op die video en terby die persoon wat die verklaring geneem het, so op die einde van die tyd moet ek 'n evaluasie neem, so dis die rede wat ek dit vra.
Do you understand why
Verstaan.
I'm asking all these questions?
Verstaan u hoekom vra ek al hierdie vrae mevrou?
Dis korrek, my lord.
That's correct, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Lombard. Apologies, I interrupted you.
Mr. Harmson, thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Harmson,
Thank you, Judge.
and I'm not going to mention your first name.
Thank you, my Judge. The judge